It's Week 11 of the National Football League.
And coming up, we'll see the electric Jaden Daniels.
He's going to have to air it out plenty this week.
Hope y'all ready for this one.
Just ahead on EA Sports.
Thank you to Trey Mosley for the introduction. We are indeed excited to welcome you to another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Good to be with you. Mike Tirico, Greg Olson here in the booth. Greg, we got a couple of teams who love to throw the football, and you know how guys say, hey, we're not going against the other offense, we're going against the other team's defense. Greg, these star wide receivers, you know they're watching what the other guy does on the field here today.
Oh, in their minds, there's no question. They are competing against one another, and I think that's what makes this league so fun is when these guys, they know each other, they study each other, they work together in the off seasons. A lot of times they're friends, but come game day, there is no question.
Riley Patterson is the kicker, and he's got it on the tee. And off we go here on EA Sports. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. So the visitors ready to go on offense here for the first time. Leading them out, the former #1 overall pick back in the 2021 draft, it's Trevor Lawrence.
You think back just a few years ago, Mike, Trevor Lawrence coming out of Clemson, he was regarded as one of the top quarterback prospects of the last decade, and at times he's fit the billing, but it's been the inconsistency, protect the ball, turnovers. If he can clean up a lot of those miscues, he could be one of the top quarterbacks in this league.
Lost one on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground with Spears. And he'll pick up 2 out to the 27. We're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, it's Lawrence. He'll try and get there on the ground. Can't beat those legs. 13-yard pickup. A scramble leads to a first down.
Having a quarterback with this ability to run is such an X factor in today's NFL. It's an element of their offense that you have to be prepared for on every single play. Here we see it on 3rd down. Starts out as a pass. Nowhere to go with the ball. He tucks it, turns into a runner, picks up the first down.
He'll run again. Oh, what a run. Down inside the 30-yard line.
You know this defense worked all week defending this quarterback as a scrambler, as a runner. But sometimes it's just hard to simulate until you see him in real life. His speed, his ability to create. We saw him get him here early on the big scramble. He's able to pick up the first down and keep the drive alive.
And he takes it down to the 15-yard line.
The defense is going to have to come up with a plan for this quarterback using his legs, Mike, or it's going to be a long day. They knew coming in he was a threat, but I'm not sure they thought he would be this effective this early.
Now it's Spears. And he surges forward for a gain of about 5. They'll break the huddle. It's 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Lawrence. He pulls it in around the 5. And this drive's going to continue. He's taken down, but they are set up with 1st and goal. Here's Spears. They try to push forward, but only a yard down to the 2. Come a little closer. Here's 2nd and goal. In the pistol, here's Lawrence. Good blocking, and he's in. Lawrence, touchdown Huskies. A terrific way to start this one. Not only a touchdown, but a nice long march down the It makes a long walk back to the bench for the defense.
Mike, that's about as good as you can imagine starting a game offensively. To be able to sustain that many plays and be able to cap it off with a touchdown, that is a dream start for this offense.
Extra point up and good from Hopkins. And the Huskies will take a 7-0 lead. Here's Hopkins now after the touchdown. He'll boot this one away. This will be returned from the 6. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. This crowd ready in anticipation. Their offense taking the field for the first time. They are led by the former Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU, Jaden Daniels.
Sometimes you can just see a player who is clearly playing what they call the zone, right? Mike, last week when we went back and watched, I mean, whether he was throwing touchdowns or scoring with his legs, the defense just simply didn't have an answer for him. He was arguably the best player on the field, regardless of position. If he's able to continue to do that here, it's going to be a tough group to beat.
You can't beat a running quarterback. Gain of 16 and a first down. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. He'll take off again. And he'll be at the 45-yard.
And this is something the defense knew they had to contain coming in today, Mike. They worked all week on containing this quarterback. But here we are, early on in the game, a nice scramble there, good yardage, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Open man, it's Jamison Williams. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. The training staff going to look, and will step out for a moment. An enviable spot to operate from. Here's 2nd and inches. Here's a first carry for their running back, and they bring him down inside the 5-yard line.
Let's give some love to the bigs up front here, Mike. The offensive line is looking good here early to start the game. Couple nice big explosive runs. Expect them to continue to lean on the big guys up front as the rest of this game unfolds.
Oh, a short throw there, but it's going to end up incomplete. That's a pass he'll say he should have had. Instead, he does not, and it brings up 2nd down. Working out of the gun, it's Daniels. Across left side, caught by his running back, and he's going to be taken down.
And it's been a really nice answer so far to this game, Mike. I mean, you watch your opponent take the initial drive and go right down the field and score. And what are you going to do in response? What are you going to do when you get that ball back for the first time in your huddle? And tell you what, they've answered all those.
To the goal line and in. K.J. Osborne. Touchdown, Dragons. It's his 3rd touchdown of the year.
And what a response by this offense. It's not easy taking the field, Mike, for the first time in the game, and you find yourself already down to score. They watch their opponent march down the field and score on the opening possession, and they're able now to go out and square it on up. Allows you to take a deep breath, maybe get a little confidence for your defense to go out and get a stop, and they come over with this extra point. We got ourselves a tie ball game.
On the return, it's Ty Johnson. A good return as he takes it across the 30. The Huskies offense ready to get going with their skip possession. We'll try to break out of this deadlock. We are all even at 7 as they start this drive, 1st and 10. Into the secondary at the 45. And they will finally track him down inside the 40-yard line.
Big hole up the middle. The interior of this offensive line did a great job clearing some space. The back saw it quick, and he hit it. The next thing he was in the secondary for a big.
And he finds a little bit of space. He'll take this forward for a gain of 4. Here's 2nd and 6. They go play action for Lawrence. And he has to eat this one as down he goes.
If you're going to take a sack, you just can't add to it by taking such a massive loss on top of it. Understand when the pocket breaks down, move up, cut losses. Now, not only do you lose that down, but now you face a big uphill battle if you want to extend this drive.
Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. Back to throw. Lawrence. Here comes the screen to Spears. And he'll gain some yardage here, but that is not nearly enough for the first down. So it's going to bring 4th down. He's ready to punt, as they'll say no to the long field goal and hope to pin them deep. And no chance of a run back here. This one's going to sail out of bounds. The Dragons offense ready to take over for their 2nd possession. All even here in this opening quarter. And the drive will begin with 1st down. The open man is Osborne. And that gets him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards. Here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. On the ground, here's Keaton Mitchell. He'll be a little short of that 1st down. Tackled at about the 37-yard line. 3rd yard. It's the tight end Henry in motion. 3rd and a yard. It's Daniels. That is in.
Remember what they told us, Mike, leading up to this game. They said it is so critical for us to find success, especially on 3rd down. We want to maintain possession, extend these drives. Well, the first crack comes up and they fail through the air, and we're going to have to regroup and be able to have better success throughout the remainder of this game.
And not much doing there. They made sure he would not get free. The Huskies offense ready to get back at it. They'll try to establish some tempo as they start this one with 1st and 10. They'll start this drive on the ground with Spears. And a good run there. Going to get him 5 yards. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. He'll let this one go long for Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. And in motion is Brown. Lawrence from the gun here on 3rd down. He'll try to run for it. Good job breaking the pocket and going for 14 yards, and most importantly, a 1st down.
This is an element that defensively you always have to be ready to defend. You can't just accept that it's a pass and be so consumed with the receivers downfield. You have to account for the quarterback as a scrambler. You can see why, as he's able to get out of the pocket and pick up the 1st down.
A run with Spears. And he's taken down on what should be the final play of this 1st quarter. A touchdown apiece here in the 1st quarter play. Pair of 7s on the scoreboard. And EA Sports NFL Sunday returns after this. Here's 2nd and 3 to go. Now Lawrence on the bootleg. He's going to run it. Trevor avoids the hit, takes a slide, but picks up a 1st down.
This is what you see if you're the head coach. Not only does your quarterback know exactly where that 1st down marker is, he's able to pick up the 1st down, but then get himself on the ground. He avoids the big hit and picks up the 1st down.
And they'll take this down inside the 35.
The ability to generate explosive plays is the greatest correlation with the ability to score points. So every defense nowadays is trying to say, cannot let them throw the ball over our head. What does that do? Get you a little bit more depth in your drops. Makes it a little bit easier for some of these check down pickups.
That's another first down, another big play. The defense has some issues. Gain of 18.
What we're seeing here in this first half, Mike, is an example of the offensive line, the running back, and the play caller all on the same page. The execution and the ability to continue to pick up chunk plays on the ground has been a great start for this offense.
On the move at the 14-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Lawrence. That's to the left side and taken in by Smith. And he's close to another first down as he's brought down just shy of the marker. 2nd and a yard. Now Lawrence. And he will fight his way to the end zone. Trevor Lawrence. Touchdown Huskies. That is 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And that is now a pair of rushing touchdowns. The quarterback giving it to them, Greg, with his legs in this one.
And we're starting to see, Mike, why this week this coaching staff told us they're encouraging this guy to do this more often. His ability to be a passer, but also a rusher, is an element to this offense that is hard for defenses to account for.
Here's Hopkins now after the touchdown. He'll boot this one away. The return starts from the 5. Now an opening past the 30. And they'll be set up well as he is past the 35-yard line. The Dragons offense ready to take over possession of the football. They trail now 14-7 as they'll come up for 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, it's Daniels. He'll take a shot. Looking for Wilson. That is brought in. No touchdown, but they are close. Going to be 1st and goal. They've got it at the 3.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone. And this is where you have to finish drives.
So the big play gets him down close. And now it's 1st and goal. Now Daniels. To the end zone there, but it is incomplete.
That's one he'd love to have back. An opportunity to score 6 was right there for the taking. Just wasn't quite meant to be.
A throw left side, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
They let a golden opportunity slip away on that one. That's the matchup that they wanted. They just couldn't quite capitalize on it.
3rd and goal. It's Daniels. And he's so close to breaking the plane, but the official's going to come in and mark him short. So now it's 4th down.
You could tell that this defense was ready for this exact play call. They know that they're going to give their quarterback a chance both through the air and on the ground with his legs. They do a nice job stopping him short of the goal line to force 4th down.
Patterson's kick is good. And the Dragons are back within 4 at 14-10.
You know, I think it's safe to say here, Mike, as this offense leaves the field, they wanted to stay out there and go for it. But I think in this case, the coach is playing the long game. He understands that these 3 points now can end up being very valuable as this game moves along.
And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. The Huskies offense and Trevor Lawrence set to take over once more. From the 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10. Here's Lawrence to throw. That's caught by Spears out of the backfield. And this one's going to be a loss of yardage. He's marked out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 11. To throw is Lawrence. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Lawrence. And they will continue to go backwards. He's taken down for a sack. Now a timeout for injury. Athletic training staff looking at him, so we'll step aside. Here's Bryce Behringer now, as he'll hit this from just outside of his own goal line. This will be returned from the other side of midfield, and he'll be brought down. Short return, and they'll take over there. The Dragons offense ready to see what they can do with this next possession. They trail by 4. A touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. Nice job finding the seam. Gain of about 9. Just a yard short of that 1st down. A good spot here. 2nd and a yard. Now whistles. Play clock at 0, and that'll cost them 5. On 2nd down, it's Daniels. To get this complete, it's Williams over the middle. And they'll take this down inside the 35.
Not a whole lot complicated about this play, Mike. That was understanding where the holes of the defense were. Remember, in this zone coverage, you got to find green grass. Get past the 1st down marker, be friendly to the quarterback, and then the ball has to be out on time before those zone defenders can react to the receiver. It's exactly how it played out here. You can drop all the fancy plays you want, but when the quarterback and the receiver see it through the same set of eyes, it's virtually impossible to stop.
It's the tight end Henry in motion. They'll go play action here with Daniels. Inside the 10, it is caught. A nice throw by the rookie from LSU. And he's got his team a 1st down.
Really nice throw there. The ability to throw the ball out on the perimeter. Yes, arm strength and all of that, but it's also timing. The timing of the route. When is that wide receiver coming out of his break to deliver that ball accurately as his head comes around? If the ball's thrown too early, the receiver's not ready. If the ball's thrown too late, that's when disaster strikes. All right, so there's really 3 areas that a modern NFL running back has to excel at. Number 1, the traditional handoffs. Number 2, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection, and maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least...
And he will take this one across into the end zone. Jaden Daniels. Touchdown, Dragons. 2 touchdowns for him now on the afternoon. The defense comes up with the coverage, but they cannot keep up with the speed as the quarterback scrambles to the end zone for the touchdown.
Down here in the red zone, Mike, is where I think a quarterback's legs can be the most dangerous. The defenders are trying to match backs, match tight ends and receivers, but often it's the quarterback that has no one assigned to him, and in this case, he's able to capitalize and run it in himself.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Now, here comes a return from the 9. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Huskies offense and Tajay Spears getting ready for their next possession. And he's been a tough man to stop in this 1st half, putting up some big numbers already. And remember, we haven't even reached halftime yet. Working free downfield, it is Williams. Can't ask for much more. 22 yards on the first play of the drive.
We've really seen both teams have a lot of success moving the ball throughout this entire first half, and just seems this possession's going to be more of the same as they start this drive.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. Play action now. It's Lawrence. He'll let this one go long for Williams.
You know, Mike, there's the saying in the NFL, take what the defense gives you. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you have to force a ball downfield. Show the defense you are willing to take big shots. Even though they weren't able to connect, it's going to have an impact the rest of the game.
And the defense there to meet him. They'll hold them to 2 and bring up 3rd down. Working out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Taking off, he'll try to get there.
This is all about sensing the pressure. You can see him keeping his eyes downfield as long as he can. But ultimately, he decides, I got to tuck this ball and become a runner. He's able to avoid the sack, pick up some positive yards.
And we will not have a return here. This one angled out of bounds. The Dragons offense getting set to get back to work. They lead by a field goal as they go to work with a 1st and 10. The drive will begin with a run by Mitchell. And some good footwork there. He'll take this forward for a gain of 8. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll go again with Mitchell. And that'll give them a 1st down. Tackle made after the pickup of 3. Daniels now going to look to throw. Looking middle there, but it's incomplete.
Throughout this entire game, we've really seen this quarterback operate very efficiently, not only being able to spread the ball to multiple playmakers, Mike, but really complete a high percentage of his passes. So can't let that last incomplete break what's been a really nice rhythm so far.
So, 2 minutes to play in a back-and-forth first half. Greg and I will be right back after this. 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. He'll tuck it and take off. Good decision to take off. He gets 15 yards and a 1st down.
And here's a great example of why the pass rush on 3rd down, that it's critical it gets home. In this case, they're not able to get to the quarterback. He has extra time to not only escape the pocket, but to turn into a runner and pick up the 1st down.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. Throwing is Daniels. Throwing it right into the hands of his running back. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line.
That last completion's going to go a long way towards at least finishing this 2-minute drive, Mike, with some points. You're already in field goal range, so now the idea is continue to work the clock down, take a couple shots at the end zone. You want to get points, ideally a touchdown, but either way, you have the ball last before the end of the 2nd quarter.
They'll send a tight end in motion. Throwing on 2nd down, Daniels. And that ball incomplete. He was looking for Garrett Wilson there. 3rd down coming up. Keep it in the air. Here's Daniels. And they're going to track him down. He couldn't find a receiver, and down he goes. Out comes Riley Patterson to try the field goal. This is going to be a 51-yard attempt. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Dragons going to tack on 3 more, extending the lead here late in the first half.
And this is what you want. I mean, you clearly have the advantage, but you want to continue to apply pressure. Can you score every time you get the ball? They're able to do that here. They tack on 3 and extend their lead.
And a decent return there. He'll get this up just shy of the 30. The visitors' offense. And their running back set to go once more. The deficit, 6 points. A touchdown here would be mighty nice for the offense. See what they can do on this drive. 1st and 10. Now he'll run it. Now another timeout called by this offense. They have 1 remaining, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go until halftime. He was trying to fit that one in to Mike Evans. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Lawrence. He runs with it. Now this defense will use the first of their timeouts. On comes the punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This brought in out past the 20. And he'll get forward a few yards on the return. And that's where the offense will take over. And they'll elect not to run another play. Instead, just take a knee and take this on into the locker room. So we have reached halftime here. It is a 6-point difference at the break. As we're off to Orlando, going to check in with Jonathan Coachman, who's got our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. More from you and Greg in a moment. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here and what's already been an eventful afternoon of football. We were treated to a fine performance in the first half from the Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels. He had a touchdown both in the air and on the ground to help push his guys into the lead at the break. Both of these offenses had their share of high points in that first half. Each team had some big moments, and it would seem this could turn out to be a game where the last score wins.
Coach, thanks. This one's still anyone's game. We'll see who can come out with the hot hand in this second half. About to get started. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The home team's offense and Jaden Daniels ready to take over once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with a way to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go. And he's turned a number of those into big plays. 2nd and 7. Working out of the gun, it's Daniels. He'll look for Mitchell out of the backfield. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. Here's 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for it with Mitchell. And that'll keep the drive going. He's got the first down up past the 40-yard line. Now, following the run, one of the offensive linemen leading the way is a bit shaken up. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. They'll throw with Daniels. Oh, and a short throw there, but it's going to end up incomplete. That's a pass he'll say he should have had. Instead, he does not, and it brings up 2nd down. To throw is Daniels. There's Osborne with the grab. down to the 10. And he will go all the way. K.J. Osborne. Touchdown, Dragons. That's his second touchdown of the game. He's doubled his season output. He now has 4. Now, a 2-point conversion attempt coming. Throwing now, Daniels. He bought all the time he could, but he's going to be taken down as he couldn't get a throwaway.
So they decide to put the ball in the air, which I don't mind on this 2-point try, but their execution was just a little bit off, and it's not going to work out in their favor this time around.
Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Johnson now to return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The visitors' offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. The deficit is double digits, so work to do as they begin this drive with 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Spears to start the drive. Trying to find some place to go, but nothing developing. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 1. Once again, it's Spears. And he's going to be swallowed up again. Back-to-back runs, back-to-back losses. Now it's 3rd down. Lawrence now. Now he takes off. A great job of knowing when to go. He gets 17 yards on that run and a 1st down.
And this has been a familiar sight all day today for this defense. They have no answer for this quarterback as a runner. That last scramble puts him over 100 yards for the day.
They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. They run. It's out of the gun, and that's Spears. Still fighting. What a run. Shedding tacklers. Picks up 9 on the play. They'll stay on the ground with Spears. And he's going to have a 1st down. Good run down inside the 45-yard line.
2nd down at these distances, Mike, you pretty much anticipate a pass, and I think that's what the defense was lined up thinking. In this case, they leave a little too much room on the ground, and the offense is able to pick up a 1st down.
And to pick up 3 or maybe 4, Jawan Bentley there on the tackle. On the ground, it's Corum. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line.
Finding yourself down here, multiple scores in the 2nd half. The defense is going to give you some friendly run looks. So don't be afraid to mix it in there. But if you're going to find yourself coming back from this deficit, you're going to have to do it primarily through the air with just a little bit of mix of the run.
And the defense was ready for him this time. Did not have the same room to run. That one's no gain. Lawrence now on 2nd down. There's Evans. He's got it. And nice work after the catch. He stopped a little short of the 1st down marker, but it is a pickup of 9. They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. They'll try to run it here with Cora. Mark him right on the 15, and the march continues. That is a 1st down picked up on the ground.
Really just the same approach that an offense would take on a quarterback sneak, Mike. You don't necessarily have to spring them for a huge gain. Can you buy just enough space up front to pick up 1 yard? That's exactly.
The pressure gets there, and down he goes. A sack. Now a timeout for injury. As the athletic training staff looks at him, we'll step away for a moment. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Here's a handoff to Cora. And he'll get maybe about 4 yards out of that one. Lane closed quickly, and here comes 3rd down. Here's Lawrence. The pass rush gets home, and he goes down.
3rd and real long. This is where your defensive line has to come to life. They decided to keep extra blockers in the backfield, but it didn't matter. They were able to bring him down for a sack and brings up 4th down.
Hopkins' kick is good. And the Huskies are able to put up 3 and cut into the lead.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
And their drive will begin at the 30-yard line. The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. Eddie has been in control of this offense. Want to run you through some of the action from earlier on. You've got the 2 touchdown passes, over 200 passing yards. He has been excellent all game long. 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, it's Daniels. That one underneath to Mitchell. And he'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3. They face 2nd down and 7. Play clock has expired. They're not going to get this one off on time. On the give, it's Mitchell. And it'll be a pickup of 3. So 3rd down forthcoming. From the shotgun on 3rd down, Daniels. He'll try and get there on the ground.
So the 2 components to a scramble drill, Mike, is the quarterback has to buy time with his legs, and then all of the receivers need to second reaction and come open downfield late. And he bought time, but nobody was able to separate, and there's nowhere to go with the ball.
The Dragons getting their punt team out here as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Oh, but he cannot get away. Great job down there to hold him to a short return. The visitors' offense make their way out to take over once more. And look, they've been out of sorts throughout, Greg. They haven't had any answer for this pass rush all game.
Yeah, and it's really showing up in the sacks and also just in their ability to prevent any yards and completions. This has just been a dominant pass defense performance here, and everything starts with the rush. The quarterback's uncomfortable. The clock gets sped up. He's got guys in his faith.
And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long.
If they win this game, this pass rush is going to be a big reason why. The 5 sacks speak for itself, but their ability to disrupt the timing of this offense, that can't be overstated.
2nd down, Lawrence. Catch is made. That is Williams. And he'll be taken down after a gain of 9, and 3rd down coming up. They'll try and run here with Spears. And that call will not get it done. The defense ready, stopping him behind the line of scrimmage, and it sets up 4th down.
The idea here for this offense is you're not really thinking necessarily touchdown. you're thinking first down. Let's get a fresh set of downs here and reset. But in this case, they suffer a loss, and it brings up fourth down.
Here comes a return, and he's going to be brought down after a short return, and that's where his team will get possession of the football. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for their next possession. And he has been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been picked apart. That is borne out in those impressive numbers. He has been terrific all game long. And he'll be marked down at the 15-yard line.
When he continues to play at this level, Mike, it just makes this team so hard to beat. It's the combination of leading both long, sustained drives and then being able to strike in bunches. It puts so much pressure on these defenses, and with the way today's game has gone, doesn't look like he has any plans on slowing down.
Line of scrimmage is the 15. It's 1st and 10. Now Daniels.
Initially, Mike, a really good job by the defense. Nowhere to go with the ball for this quarterback. He's forced to pull it down and turn into a runner. A little slow reaction, and he's able to actually pick up a pretty good game.
So these two teams take the long walk to the opposite end of the stadium. We've come to the end of the third quarter. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. They'll come to the line now on 2nd and 2. They bring a tight end in motion left. A first carry now for Ty Chandler. And that should be enough. He works his way forward to pick up a first down. Off the play fake, here's Daniels. That's to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And this game almost just flipped completely on his head. You find yourself with a lead, just trying to milk the clock away in the fourth quarter, and that's a gift. I mean, that defender just flat out drops the ball, and if he's able to secure...
Good blocking, and he's in. Jaden Daniels. Touchdown, Dragons. Greg, that's one of those scores where it's not completely over, but it's getting to be about that time.
Yeah, Mike, I just think they're entering miracle stage right now, and I just don't think there's any coming back from this deficit.
The decision is made. The offense will stay out there and go for 2. Here's Daniels. Nowhere to go. He is taken down.
I'm always curious how a defense is going to respond. So you give up a touchdown, you give up 6, and now the offense is trying to extend it to 8. How are you going to buckle down? How are you going to hang in there? In this case, let's give them a little credit. Keep those 2 off the board, and they can come to the sideline and regroup.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. From the 6, here comes a return. And this will work out quite well. He'll get it all the way out to the 30-yard line. The Huskies offense makes their way back out to the field for their next possession. They need to start making some inroads here. Down 2 scores as they begin this drive with first down. With the middle of the field, he's got Evans. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. And this offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack.
So after surrendering their 6th sack of the game, I looked down on the sideline, Mike, and found their offensive line coach. He grabbed his headset, removed it, and he slammed it on the ground. And truthfully, I don't blame him. His unit has been getting worked up front all day in pass protection.
He'll get a dozen out of that one, scrambling his way to a first down. They go play action for Lawrence. And he got rid of that one quickly before the receiver even knew what was going on. That's incomplete. They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. Here's Lawrence to throw. And the quarterback scrambling, maneuvers his way back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all he can get out of that one. Here's a 3rd and 10. Now here's Lawrence. That's caught. It's Evans. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They've got it inside the 15.
Defensively, you put so much effort about defending the middle of the field. You know that's the valuable real estate every offense is looking to attack. But what does that do, Mike? It makes you a little susceptible to the throws outside the numbers, and it leads to a chunk play.
Space getting tight here, down to the 13-yard line. They work 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, it's Lawrence. He's going to keep it himself. And he'll be taken down.
This is a part of the field where you have to account for the quarterback as a runner. Nothing's open downfield. Great job by your secondary, but then he makes a break for the goal line, and they're able to stop him just short, but not until after he sets his guys up 1st and goal.
And he will score. Game on. Tyjae Spears. Touchdown, Huskies. So they get the touchdown, and now it is a 9-point game. Greg, you can go for 1 and make it a 1-possession game. Or some people think about going for 2 here. What would you do?
I think I'm going for 2, Mike. Listen, the way you have to look at it is I need a 2-point conversion at some point. But I want to know now, am I down truly 2 scores, or am I able to get it down to 7 and truly make it a 1 score? So I'm going for 2 now, and I want to know what the rest of this game looks like. How many possessions do I need?
So things a little more interesting now. Back to a 1-score game as they kick it away. This will be returned from the 6. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Dragons offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And you get a look at the numbers, they don't even tell the whole story. This has been a tremendous performance to this point. To throw is Daniels on 1st and 10. And good yardage there after the catch. They'll wind up with a gain of 7 on 1st down. Here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. And the rookie gives himself up there at the end. That's a sign of a guy who's learned it quick, picking up the 1st down. That one good for 15 and a 1st down. On 1st down, Daniels. Catch made right side by Wilson.
This is a great example here of just not getting too complicated as an offensive coordinator. Who's one of your best players on the field, and how do you get the ball in his hands?
They'll run it over center with Mitchell. And he'll get this down to the 40. That's a nice run. It's also a 1st down. Another run here with Mitchell. And he'll get about 5. They'll break the huddle. It's 2nd and 5. Throwing is Daniels. He keeps it himself. give him 11 on the scramble and give them a new set of downs.
They got to do a better job of keeping the quarterback contained in the pocket all week, Mike, against mobile quarterbacks. You talk about rushing as a group. This time they get a little undisciplined with their rush lane integrity, and he makes them pay.
He'll get this out to his running back. This a mess on the offensive end. He goes out of bounds. That's going to be a loss of 5 yards on that play. On the handoff, it's Mitchell heading right. He's fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, but can't get there. Dropped for the loss of a yard.
You know, at this point, the defense has to sell out and stop the run. You know exactly what the offense is trying to get accomplished by keeping the ball on the ground. But now the question remains, are they willing to take some risk here and put the ball in the air on 3rd down? Or do they play it safe and keep running the clock by keeping the ball on the ground? Well, we've seen time and time again just how dangerous this quarterback can be, Mike, when he decides to tuck it and take off. So that is a great job defensively to rally to the football and hold him to just a short gain.
So now, pressure situation for Riley Patterson. This to make it a 2-possession lead. And this one right down the middle. It's good. And that could be big. They now take a 2-score advantage.
So it's not exactly what you're looking for when you set out on a drive, but at the same time, you don't want to come away empty-handed either. So in this case, they'll take those 3 points.
Oh, he's got room past the 30. And they will finally get him down, but he gets all the way close to the 40-yard line. The Huskies offense starting to trot out for this next possession. They'll start out 1st down and 10. From the shotgun, it's Lawrence. That's caught by Spears out of the backfield. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. They'll come up on a 2nd down and 8. Now Lawrence. Now a deep ball looking for Brown. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Lawrence. Now a timeout for injury. And as the medical staff looks him over, we'll step aside. Trailing late, they've got to go here. It's 4th down. They'll try it now with Spears.
I know it's 4th and short, Mike, but at this distance, you actually have to clear a lane out. You can't just fall forward or push the pile. So that conversion, it's as much of a credit to the blocking as it is to the running back seeing the hole and hitting it.
Now on 2nd and long. A pass complete to Noah Brown. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. Noise reverberating off the roof. Very loud before 3rd down. Thompson. He'll try to run for it. They'll pick up 23 on that one. That's enough for a 1st down. They'll drop to throw. That's right side and brought in by Williams. Now this offense going to use the first of their timeouts. Throwing Thompson. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be second down. Thompson now to throw. And he will fight his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies.
Well, that was step one. The offense did their job, get this thing back within one possession, so they're still alive. But now they've got to find a way to get a little bit of luck and find a way to get the ball back. It's not going to be easy.
Spears. And he will get into the end zone. The two-point conversion is successful. And game on. Lead is down to 3 here in the fourth quarter. So the deficit cut from 11 down to a field goal, as now they'll try an onside kick.
All right, good effort, just doesn't work out, but it's not over. Remember, they still got 2 timeouts in their back pocket. They've got to use them quickly. They've got to get 3 stops, force a punt, and see what happens when the offense gets the ball.
The Dragons offense ready to take over once again. They'll have a short field, looking to build on the lead. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is first down and 10. On first down, right back to Mitchell. And he'll work forward for about 3. It's second down. They'll go again with Mitchell. And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one. Here's 3rd and 7. They put Wilson in motion. On 3rd down, they'll throw with Daniels. Taking off, he'll try to get there. A pickup there of 25 yards. And that will be a first down.
This is the point in the game, Mike, where on 3rd down, you have to get off the field, and they do a great job. They defend everything in the pass routes, nowhere for the quarterback to go with the ball, but they don't keep him in the pocket. They let him escape, picks up the first down with his legs. They're going to be able to run more time off the clock.
On the move at the 14-yard line, it's 1st and 10. The defense still with all 3 timeouts at their disposal as the quarterback's down to a knee. Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. Victory formation here as he's down to a knee. And that'll do it for my partner, Greg Olson. For our entire team, I'm Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone.